What's up, guys? LQ here with the LQ Review. Thank you so much for joining me right here at my YouTube channel. This is where we talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that we'd love to talk about. Movies, video games, comic books, and TV shows. And right now, I'm going to give you guys my review of the new Netflix original movie, Gunpowder Milkshake, starring Karen Gillan. Karen Gillan, obviously from Guardians of the Galaxy fame. She played Nebula, also from the new Jumanji films. And this really does kind of have an all-star female cast. You know, you've got Karen Gillan in this, you got Lena Headey, you've got Carla Gugino, is that how you say it? Michelle Yao. So definitely this big-time all-star cast. Now, this movie is one that I really had very mixed feelings on. Now, for the most part, I really enjoyed it, but it took me a while to really start enjoying it. And that's because the first part of this movie is very frenetic, it's very frantic, it's very kind of unfocused and jarring in the way that it starts. It wasn't really a movie that was hard to follow. Like, I had no problem following the storyline and where they were going with it. It just felt very frenetic and, like I said, just very jarring. Like, it would make transitions that were that were extremely I can't think of a better word than jarring, but that's what they were. Like, it was just a really odd way to start a movie. It took the movie a little bit to get going. Once you finally saw the direction that they were going to take it in, it was a lot of fun. But the first part of the movie was definitely a little directionless, and it took a little bit for it to come into focus. But like I said, once it came into focus and you had the plot, the plot was kind of laid out to protect this girl, this little, what is it, 8 3/4 years old girl. Once that plot was kind of once that path was kind of in front of us, it was much easier to follow. It was just a little doing to get there. For some reason, I don't know why, but this movie really reminded me. I mean, I know why. It reminded me of John Wick. This is very much in the vein of John Wick. It's almost like we've got this new franchise of films that are inspired by John Wick, or this new, not franchise, this new genre of films that are inspired by John Wick. What was it? We had, like, was it Parker that we had about 2 years ago, and we've seen this new genre of, like, hyper violent gunplay films that I believe John Wick kind of paved the way for. And this movie definitely kind of followed that John Wick path, where it was clearly kind of inspired by John Wick. The ultra-violent, gunfighting, hand-to-hand fighting type movies, close combat type fighting. So, without giving a whole lot away, as far as the plot is concerned, this movie, Karen Gillan plays an assassin named Eva, and she is part of this female assassin group, and she has kind of taken upon herself to protect this little girl from some people who want her dead. And you get some other people, some other female assassins involved to support Eva in this endeavor, especially near the end, and that includes Lena Headey and Carla Gugino and Michelle Yao and those actresses. And just let me say that the last 20-30 minutes of this movie, it fired on all cylinders. It was amazing to watch. The last big fight in the library, you'll know that's coming once they go to the library, which I guess, that's not really a spoiler. But once they go to the library near the end of the movie, you know it's coming, because you are going to get this treat for the eyes, this hyper-violent treat for the eyes that is so much fun to watch, where each female fighter get their moment to shine. It's very, like I said, hyper-violent. It's very gory, but it's all very stylized, so you don't feel like you're watching, like, you don't feel like you're watching a gore fest. Even though you are, you don't necessarily feel that way because it is so stylized and so over the top and just so almost choreographed. It really was a lot of fun to watch. Karen Gillan just really shines in this type of role. She's a very physical actress. But Lena Headey, who obviously has done physical work before, she's great in it. She gets to team up with Karen Gillan at the end of the movie in some fights where they're fighting some bigger opponents. It's just so much fun to watch. Michelle Yeoh gets this great fight at the end where she uses a chain as a weapon, and I don't know, just the whole movie was just this. The whole movie, especially the last half hour or so, was just a feast for the eyes. That was just so much fun to behold. So, as far as the plot is concerned, yeah, it's pretty basic. It's nothing we haven't seen before. It's a protection movie where somebody's protecting a kid. You know, somebody who is a great fighter is protecting a kid. We've seen this type of movie before. The plot, you know, or sorry, the action, it's all very much inspired by John Wick. We've seen it all before, but the way that they bring it all together in this nice little fun package, yeah, it's junk food. This movie is nothing but junk food. There's nothing really substantial here, but darn it, this junk food tastes good, and I had just so much fun watching it. So is it a good movie? I don't know if I can say it's a good movie. You know, I can't sit here and say that this movie is high art. You know, this movie is just one of those stupid movies you sit down to turn your brain off and have a good time watching some hyper stylized violence. And if that's not a good time for you, then I don't know if this movie is going to have anything to offer you. But if you are somebody that's going to have a good time just sitting back and watching some people hurt each other in the name of our entertainment, then maybe this is for you. Because for me, this just kind of worked. It was a little bit long. The middle really kind of drug a little bit, and like I said, the beginning it took a little bit to come into focus, but once it got into focus and once that path was set ahead of us, even though the middle drug a little bit, I was never really bored. And once we got like I said, once we got to that big climax, it was perfect. So yeah, it's not a perfect movie, but it was still very entertaining. So I'm gonna give Gunpowder Milkshake a B. Very entertaining to watch. Nothing you haven't seen before though. So I don't know. So take that for what you will. I give it a B. I liked it. I'll watch it again. What did you think of Gunpowder Milkshake? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your take on it. While you're down there commenting, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I do put out a lot of content and I want to make sure that you're up to date with everything that I'm doing. And as always, thank you so much for joining me right here at the LQ Review, where we get to talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that we love to talk about. Till next time, we'll see you guys later.